What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in. We are back again. Thank you for tuning in to Still Knicks Fans Weekly Show. It's not a recap and prediction show because there's no season for the Knicks, but we're still here giving you content, telling you the goings-ons and what's happening with our New York Knickerbockers. So today, as you can see, I'm opening the show by my lonesome. Unfortunately, my man John could not make it, but you know he's working hard. He's got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm holding it down right now. Yeah, there you go. I'm holding it down right now, but you know I'm not alone. I got Jose still in the back on the ones and twos. And we got a special guest tonight. Now, let me tell you something. This special guest is a long time coming. I've been going back and forth with this gentleman for quite some time, to the point where it's probably been over a year maybe that I've been trying to get him on the show so we could chop it up and do something. It got so crazy because everything going on. I mean, he's got a lot of new stuff, new developments in his life, great news. That I wound up being on his show before he even got on my show. It's crazy. So anyway, man, without further ado, let's give a big shout, warm, still Knicks fans, welcome to my man Danny D from the Morning Drive.
What's up, Danny? What's going on, Ron? Yeah, like you said, man, it's definitely been a long time coming. I want to say at least, like you said, at least a year that we've been going back and forth, you know? So
Crazy,
I'm definitely...
bro.
Be with you on your platform.
Appreciate it, man. It's so wild. I was like, all that time, us going back and forth, I wound up being on your show before you got on my show. It's crazy.
I know, bro. I know. So when I seen you pop in, I literally had to bring you right in, you know. But I've since stopped doing that show. I was doing a show called The Knicks Corner for those that are listening and don't know. And I was working with my partner, Coach Fa. We're very big on Twitter. I really haven't gone, full steam ahead with YouTube or anything else like that. Instagram a little bit, TikTok definitely not. I got to do more there, but yeah, definitely primarily on Twitter. So we were doing that show, and just things came up, kind of both of our ends, and so we kind of just haven't been able to pull it together. So that's kind of on hiatus right now, and I've been, like you said, man, kind of just enjoying the high life with the off season right now. Nick's not really in it, so I don't have too much to focus on, and I could kind of kick back a little bit and enjoy some NBA playoffs,
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lot going on, and thank you for beating me to the punch, man. Telling me what's going on with that show because I was gonna ask, but you're still doing the morning drive, even though I know the Knicks are not playing right now, so there's no real recap to do. But I know people, that's what you're synonymous for. People look for it. People love it. I enjoy it. And, you can't avoid it. You can't say, well, I don't know if I have time to watch. It's like 2, 3, 5 minutes tops. You're in and out. Like, it's great. It's such a quick recap, and it's dope.
I appreciate it.
And the other thing is, like, I've seen you doing a lot of, like, jumping in on spaces and on Twitter. So your voice is out there. That's good.
Definitely, man. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, man. My boys, Julito, Sean, Cedric, they do this show called KCDA on Twitter Spaces. And the one thing that I want, like, I'm hoping that Twitter kind of does is, like, broaden its spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be a way to, like, reach all these other platforms. Like we just mentioned, like your show right now on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a great show. They get usually about 200 people in there, all Knicks fans, and just chopping it up the day after the game, and so that's a great platform, man. Shout out to those guys. But yeah, so I'm trying to be out there as much as possible, but like you said, right now it's kind of like chill mode, we're in vacay.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
pretending
No,
like
it's dope, man. What'd you say?
I said I'm preparing myself mentally like I'm in Cancun. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's the mindset.
yeah. Listen, man. Well, I can tell you. I mean, speaking from me personally, I enjoy watching you on whatever you do, or hearing you on Twitter Spaces, or wherever whatever you lend your voice to, because I think you're a very knowledgeable Knicks fan, and like I enjoy your takes.
What's up, man?
I want to
Like
give no. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I appreciate that very much, Ron, man. And you know that, brother.
Definitely, bro. Listen, you deserve it, man. You have a great thing. Like, no matter what else you decide to do or however you expand on your brand, that Nick Morning Drive is a nice thing, and people enjoy it. People love it. And, you know, it's kind of made you a household name on Twitter in the Knicks community. So definitely continue to do that. Keep doing it. And whatever you decide to expand upon, you know, we'll be here to support you, brother.
Oh, I know that. That's for sure, man. But you're too kind, bro. You definitely stretch it, man. You know, I'm another Knicks fan just like you. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I appreciate the kind words, man. That's for sure.
No doubt, man. It's well deserved. Well deserved. Shout out to the chat. Just want to say what's up, Geraldine. I see you in the building. Thank you. Don P, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, man. I don't know if you've been able to see, you know, our weekly show before, but definitely thank you for tuning in, brother. Appreciate you. So the other thing I want to ask you, Danny, is because I noticed, like, when I see you on Twitter, you're going to games. Are you a season ticket holder or a partial season ticket holder?
Yeah, so last season I had a 10-game season ticket plan. You know, they call it a quarter season ticket member.
Gotcha.
So I had that plan last year. I'm still kind of holding off to see what I'm going to do this year because, you know, like we've kind of been alluding to, I got a little one on the way in about 3-4 weeks, somewhere around there, man. In the next month, I'm going to have a little girl running around. Well, crying pretty much, you know what I'm saying? She's not going to be running around. But, yeah, she'll be here, so it's going to be a little bit crazy. But, yeah, dude, freaking just so I got all that going on, so I've been kind of just taking a back seat at the moment. And I already forgot where we started, man. So to catch me when I do this and I'm talking, throw me right back on because I do that often.
Nah,
bro.
man, no problem, brother. Nah, I appreciate it, man, because you know what? And you make a good point, man. It's tough to really plan ahead because you don't know what's going to happen, how much time you're going to have. Things are definitely going to come up. So believe me when I say you get a 10-game package, you might not make all 10 of those games. So
Nah,
it's tough.
definitely not. So I'm gonna see what I'm looking. Gonna look to see if I could do another 10-game. But if I can't, I'm definitely doing at least a 5. And then if there's games that I want to go to, I'll hopefully look and grab a ticket or so. But I gotta be in the building, man. Like just it's electric, man. Like I started going the season before when they actually were playing, exciting, ball and making the playoffs. I went to game 2. That was insane. The lone win that we got. So just that excitement kind of carried me into the following season. I was like, sign me up, and I enjoyed it. I had a hell of a time. I met so many, cool people, a ton of real cool Knicks fans, and the experience itself was awesome. I had it just, man, it's so hard to put into words. Like the atmosphere itself being at MSG. And even though it's not playoffs, I mean, all year long, it was just so, man, like it was just, it's like the buzz, right? So a lot of like Knicks fans that go to the games and stuff, like when you go to a game, you leave with this buzz in your ear and it don't go away. And like, man, like it don't go away for a couple hours. So it's like, that's a great way to put it all into one word is the buzz, like you can't get that anywhere else. So I got to get back in that building. It was electric, man. The only down part was, I feel like every time that somebody was coming to the building, like the Clippers, right? Like there was, no stars. You know what I'm saying? Paul George and Kawhi both sitting out. The Hornets came to town and LaMelo Ball sitting out. You know what I mean? Like every time you had tickets, I think the only good game that I really saw was Harden. The first game that he went to the Sixers, I was actually there and I got to saw that.
Oh, okay.
And we had a little bit of a lead, and then they came back, and I'm pretty sure they took it from us, like many games in that stretch there, But it's funny because I was watching then, and obviously it's so new. You throw a guy in a squad, and he's such a known skill set, you know what I mean, in Harden, and you add him to that team that's already there and kind of, rolling along. And I just was so curious to see how the whole team would adjust, not alone just, Embiid and Harden, but the whole team. I just feel like it was so late in the season to make such a big move like that. And I granted, I get that you're kind of like in a spot where you have to pull the trigger at that moment, but it's just a tough time to do it, and I feel like they definitely could have gotten farther if that had been done sooner, so they would have more time to gel, obviously being that they, just got knocked out and Miami got to advance. So
yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. That's the one thing you can't. Yeah, well, I was thinking that's the one thing you can't prepare for. Like you go to a game, you don't know who you're gonna see when you pick the games. You're gonna pick them throughout the season.
And that's tough, man, because they're so expensive as it is. You know what I mean? And when you build the game as just throwing a name out there, Lakers versus the Knicks, and then, both LeBron and AD, are sitting or whatever the case is, I feel like that always kind of comes up and happens to be. So it's a little bit disappointing, at times, but it's how do you manage that? You know what I mean? Like, that's a hard issue overall to manage, I guess
Right.
maybe you have to report to the team sooner that you're not going to, but then that starts messing with the teams and putting out their rosters and this and that, because you really don't have to submit a roster until 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour at
Yeah,
most
it's
before.
real yeah.
So, but
So I
yeah,
see your
man. So
point.
but still, no matter what, to me, it's worth it. You know what I mean? Because you get so many perks with it, like with the season ticket membership. They gave me the opportunity to, I think, 2 times go down onto the court and either take a picture or take a shot after the game. And this is something that a lot of people don't know about, but there's a link where, as a season ticket member, you go to this link, you log in with your MSG info, and it gives you like a list of the next 5 games and things that they're giving away. Whether it's I got stuff up there like a water bottle, a T-shirt. It could be like a special poster, and then on top of that, they have these drawstring bags, these Knicks drawstring bags that they give away almost always also. And in there is a Knicks shirt, a Knicks hat, Knicks sunglasses. I've gotten a Knicks cooking apron before. Just random stuff,
Wow.
you know what I mean? So, yeah, and it's funny because they don't advertise that. Like, I stumbled upon that because my ticket rep was awesome. Shout out to Aaron Taylor. If you're hearing this, you're the man, bro. You already know. But he hooked it up, man. He told me so many little things that I feel like so many people didn't know. Because I'd be sitting in my seats during the game and looking over. You go to a few games and you see the same guy next to you. He's got the same ticket plan that you do. So you start talking to people, and people had no clue that this was a thing. And so throughout the
Right.
season, I'm telling everybody, and lo and behold, it's a thing, man. Like, you go up there and you get a nice little gift bag. So definitely take advantage of the membership. And then being a season ticket member, the whole reason I did it to begin with was because I wanted to get to the playoff game, the year before. So
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at, like, how can I guarantee a way for me to have access to at least buy a ticket, right? And I figured
Right.
out if you put a deposit down for the following season, say
Mm-hmm.
$200, whatever, to be a ticket member holder, then you're considered already a season ticket member holder. So that gave me access to buy playoff tickets right away.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so that's what hooked me up. There's a lot of like ins and outs and stuff that people don't kind of know to take advantage of. You know what I mean? So I always try to tell everybody as much as I can because it's beneficial and you're paying for it. So why not?
That's
But
dope,
a lot of
man. Listen, you're a good guy, Danny. And I think people can sense your
MSG
energy
is
and they
gonna be like,
appreciate that
why?
about you.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying it,
No,
man.
dude, I wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't true. I'm not gonna blow smoke for people if I don't believe it. Because I think the one good thing that I've noticed since we've been doing still Nick fans and anything we've been involved in, um, is that we've met some really good people in the Knicks community that have been really open. I could say maybe I've had 1 or 2 funky experiences, but other than that, I mean, we're talking 98% of everybody I've met in the Knicks community is welcoming. They're loving. They're good people to be around. Like, I look at it like whoever I engage with in any type of capacity, whether it be work or whatever I'm doing, if I'm cool with hanging out with you outside of that, then you're a cool person in my book. And that's how I look at people. And I've made so many relationships. And I just think that, for example, yourself and other people I've met, like, you guys are cool guys, man. And I think that people sense that they feed off your energy. They can gravitate towards that. I see you on Twitter. You do giveaways. You do a lot of different things, man, getting people involved, man. So I think it's really dope, man. And I think the fact that you say you try to give people as much knowledge as you can about stuff that most people don't know about, that you didn't even know about, I think that's really dope, bro.
Hell yeah, man. I definitely appreciate that for sure. And you gotta, you know what I mean? That's how I kind of look at life. Like, you gotta pass that on. You know what I mean? The positivity and all that good stuff. So, and I definitely agree. You know what I mean? The community itself, like, that's one thing that I had no clue about just even 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, right when COVID hit. That's the only reason I started, messing around with Twitter a little bit more. And I found
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Because before that, I was just a regular fan watching TV every day. I didn't have people to really talk to about it. You know what I'm saying? So this community, it's so embraceful. And of course, you're going to have a negative aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? In every fabric of society, there's going to be a negative aspect of whatever it is that you're looking at, talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that definitely exists. But the way that I tell everybody, man, like, keep blinders on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just keep moving past it. If it's something I don't like, I just keep scrolling. There's no point, you know what I'm saying, just to keep blowing things up, because in New York City media alone, the Knicks give themselves plenty of things to blow up and blow out of proportion as it is. So, like, why add to it and give the media more to feed off of? You know what I'm saying? So that's just my perspective on it, man. But kind of to wrap up the thing, I kind of want to pick your brain, man, about these playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, listen. Yeah.
We
Go ahead.
We got a good matchup in the East. I'm looking forward to. I don't know so much about the West matchup, but I'm looking forward to Miami and Boston, man. Like, I was saying that before the Philly Miami series was over. You know what I mean? I kind of wanted to see that Boston Miami matchup. I just feel like they match up pretty well. I feel like they're very much both contenders, and I think they have mixes of a championship team, you know, in each of their rosters. So I definitely want to see that battle. To me, that's sometimes, you know, in whether it's basketball, hockey, football, whatever, sometimes you get the best matchups before the final matchup, right? Before the championship game, you kind of get these other wars that I don't know, man. To me, it depends who pops out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll get into it as the show progresses, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. I think, honestly, I think these next two matchups should be really special. I think maybe the Celtic Miami Heat matchup is going to be even better than the Dallas Warriors matchup. I just think the intensity on defense is going to make it that much more, something, because I think this Milwaukee Boston series was incredible, except for Game 7, not so much. But up until Game 7, it was fantastic.
I'm with you, man. There was a lot of blowout type games so far throughout the playoffs, just overall. You know, maybe more so
really
in the second. I feel like. But yeah, definitely, just a lot of disparaging scores. You know, I mean, obviously both. I mean, well, look, we could look at Memphis blowing out the Warriors, and then the Warriors still closing the seat, closing them out anyway. You could look at the Mavs, getting on the Suns a couple of times. Like, there was a lot of games like that, and I just felt like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what does it say? Like, sometimes, like, I don't even want to break things down. You know what I mean?
It leads to people and their conspiracy theories, bro. That the NBA wants to push for Game 7s and all this stuff, more money, more ratings. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but it definitely, you can make a case that something could be happening. I don't know. The refs definitely make some questionable calls at home arenas. In this playoffs, more than any other playoffs I think I've seen, home court advantage mattered in every series.
Yeah, it's been big, man. It's definitely been big. That's for sure. Going back to the first round, because I know we could obviously talk about the whole second round because it just ended. So going back to the beginning of it, you know what I mean? Was there anything that kind of stood out to you? Like, for me, when I'm watching the first round and teams like Atlanta playing, and I'm like, the Knicks definitely could have. They had it in that team to be more competitive and easily, first of all, get into the play-in, and second of all, make the actual playoffs. Like, some of the games that I was watching that first round, it was like you could easily stick the Knicks in. And listen, granted, we know that the Knicks were, not playing a full 48 minutes, but if they could have, I don't know, maybe had like another couple of weeks left on the season, I feel like maybe they could have had more stride. I think that once they reached a certain point, they almost kind of stopped working to a degree, because I feel like as a team, they were starting to click, but they just weren't turning that corner of actually finishing games and pulling out the win. And I feel like that was kind of the last piece that they needed to get to, that we saw them, obviously overcome the season prior. So I don't know, man. I was watching a lot of it, and I'm like, I feel like my Knicks could have definitely been in there, but it is what it is at the end of the day, The next round, I feel like it really started picking up, and that's where I feel like you saw more intense games overall. But like you said, and we were just touching on, there still was games there where there was blowouts. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that had to do with that home court advantage. One, definitely maybe the whistle tip tats a little bit, but I just think that the energy that each home crowd brought was just so big because you felt it. You know what I mean? In each arena,
Right.
with the exception of the Valley.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. That's very true. I think, and that's as Knicks fans, we point to the fact that the way they played this year was so Heckle and Jekyll. Like, not. I like to use those references when I talk about a team like Charlotte because they were very up and down, or like
Oh
Atlanta.
yeah.
But the Knicks had their moments where, in the beginning of the season, we were on cloud nine. You were at opening night, right? I was
Oh
at
yeah.
opening
Dude,
night. We didn't see each
the
other,
picture
but
above me, man. The picture right above
right.
me is from opening night.
Yeah, and
So
when it was electric, bro, it went to
it was
overtime.
complete.
We were losing it. It was going nuts.
That's
Yeah, look at
that's
that.
the jumbotron right now. If you could zoom in, I'll have to show you guys another time. But yeah, man, that was just an electric night. Double overtime win. We were definitely cloud nine. We were 5-1. If you want to go a couple games further, and everybody was saying, "Oh, we got shooters, right?" And I feel like that high wore off, and the lull of the season, the grind of the season started kicking in, and you start seeing, the team for what it was. So it was a complete 180 though. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about a roller coaster. Like, we were up here and completely went flying down. You know what I'm saying? And it was a struggle getting back up the whole season. We never really did. It was like that rickety, climb up where you hear each crank of the thing as you know. It was bad, man.
Yeah.
Bad. But listen, I got faith in my team, man, because I'm all about the positivity. There's enough negative coverage all day. We already know what the negative it is. So listen, we got only the future to look forward to.
I agree. I don't think it can get much worse than this. So I
Okay,
think we can only
don't
go
go
up from
that
here.
Ron. We can't go that far, man. All right, listen. Like I said, I keep things positive, but as a Knicks fan, you know what I'm saying. I can't say that much. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
hey,
we got
man.
a lot to look forward to. We've had a lot
I
of
know. I
downs.
agree. That's what I'm saying. It can't get much
I
worse to
don't want to go
me.
back.
And what we saw at the end of the season was definitely a positive.
I think so, man. Listen, I feel like you could take tons of positives out of the whole season if you zoom out and you look at the trajectory of the entire season itself, man. It was like a chart going slowly up, back down. It was like the freaking stock market. You know what I'm saying? In the last freaking, really the last couple of months, because the Knicks never really ended up coming up, and the stock market's been down this whole time too. So, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we would come up to a peak, and learn how to do something as a team, and then we would kind of not cover ourselves in another area, right? So we would make strides on offense and figure out, okay, well, we got to start playing with pace. But then there'd be lapses of defense, or just times where we completely forget to play with pace and move the ball, and we're completely stagnant. Like, there was no consistency and continuity in the consistency itself. You know what I mean? And so that's why I was saying it's a lot of like spikes that kind of just go like this. We never really steadily went up. I think we slowly I would say there's a slow incline, but it's a lot of up and downs along that incline, and ultimately it never went up, so it doesn't matter anyway, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It was a learning process. The way I look at it is like, you got to look at it as we changed the entire spectrum in terms of our office administration, right? Prior to 2 seasons ago. First season,
Right.
way overachieved. Everybody knows that, right? We got to the first round, then we got our asses kicked. So now then this season, I feel like was very mediocre. Obviously, the season before it set expectations. We never met them. Okay, so it is what it is. So now I look at it as like the administration took a shot at trying to build off of the momentum that they had in that first season, right? It didn't work. It failed. You got to at least give them one failure. So now they take a step back. If they can't go 2 steps forward now in the next season, then you look to make another change. But that's why I'm so not like, turn everything over, and I got my qualms about, Tibbs, but I'm going to kind of keep that silent because that'll be its own show, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go on a whole nother tangent, but for the sake of that, man, and kind of rounding back to where I was at, like I said, the first round, I saw a lot of games where it was like I could see my Knicks there, but at the end of the day, they really never turned the corner to put a foot in the ground and really say, all right, this is a playoff team. So whatever, and we got what we got. I thought Atlanta did a decent job. Like they kind of squeaked in there. Also, they played better than we did at the end of the season to kind of keep them in the play-in. They won the play-in. They got pushed in. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Minnesota, I definitely didn't expect Memphis to beat Minnesota. Like there was a lot of things going on. Did you expect Dallas to overcome the Suns? Like there's a lot.
Not at all, buddy. Not at all.
Yeah, this was an interesting playoffs, just overall.
Yeah, it kind of stinks in a way. Last year stunk in a way too, because last year you saw Atlanta knock us off, and then Atlanta went.
Yeah, that was
right.
Reignited
so, like this. Yeah, and like this year, you're seeing all of these teams that you think are gonna go all the way. Milwaukee's getting bounced out now. Granted, Milwaukee got bounced out by a very good Boston Celtic team.
I think
like,
Chris Middleton
there's certain things that are happening. Phoenix getting knocked out. I mean, come on. It's like anybody's game at some point. So you just think if your team plays smart basketball, does what they need to do, gets into the playoffs, anything could happen.
Right. Now, those two examples specifically, man, I feel like injury definitely played a role in whether you want to attribute everything to it or what I would say is partially, played a piece to it. But not having Chris Middleton was huge. I feel like it's kind of known now that the Bucks need him, you know what I mean, to lean on him, to kind of give him that extra. When you got a team like Boston who's got, fire starters in so many different areas, the Bucks have to kind of match that, and that's what you saw, last night with Boston closing out. You know what I mean? What's his face? Williams had a big night, right? So it goes to show that you need other pieces, and I think that Middleton going down definitely hurt them. In the Suns' case, I feel like Booker obviously had an injury. I don't think that he was the same since he, I think he missed one game and he came right back in, and I just don't think that he was playing the same either. So I think that those two things definitely contributed to it because the Suns were rocking and rolling, you know what I'm saying? But for as deep as they are, you need other guys to step up, you know what I mean? You got Jay Crowder back there. You need him to step up, you know what I mean? I was actually really surprised when he first left Miami to go to the Suns because of how important of a role he had with Miami. And I think when last year Miami kind of had to retool a little bit and figure out, okay, like how can we kind of move forward with what we got? And it's funny, right? Because they get Lowry, they get Oladipo, and you're looking now, and it's like they're not big drivers of the system themselves. It's still Jimmy, for the most part,
right,
that's really driving the bus, So it's interesting to see how different pieces and injuries play in overall. Like Oladipo barely played all season long, gets inserted, now, and it's like he kind of he's there, but is he really contributing? So and then you look at it like I said on the other side of the river. A guy like Chris Middleton going down in the Bucks, nobody else stepping up to kind of fill that support role. So it's tough, man.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of stuff that I noticed. I agree with you, though. Your takes on what you saw, I agree with all of those. I could expound a little bit more on it. But I'm saving some of it because I got to do a show on Thursday, the NBA Report on MBK, Nothing But Knicks Network. Tune in.
Hell yeah.
That's a shameless plug.
No. Plug it.
But, guys, if you're just tuning in right now, John is not here because, unfortunately, he had some pressing business, but he'll be on the next you'll see him on Thursday for the NBA Report. And, of course, he'll be on the next weekly. But our special guest tonight, if you don't already know, is Danny B from The Morning Drive. All over Twitter, man. You can't go to Twitter and not see Danny B on The Morning Drive. So definitely check him out if you haven't already. If you're just new to Twitter, then definitely go type in The Morning Drive, Danny B. However you're going to get there, you'll find it. And it's good. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So here's the thing I wanted to bring up. Now, first off, and let me give a shout out to the chat once again. Thank you guys for tuning in. Kanal Bandlauya, I see you in the building. Appreciate you. As Don P says, get them likes up. I know there's not that many of you here right now, but the ones who are here, please get those likes up. Hit that like button. I know this, Monday nights is always a very jam-packed night with Knick content on YouTube. So guys are all over. And, we're talking Knicks and Bruises might be on tonight. I'm not sure if it is, but definitely the Queen's Court.
Diehardknicks
You also
Podcast.
got For the Love of the Game with my man Worldwide L and Hard Will. So there's stuff all over, man. Nick content. So definitely support everybody. And you know what? You can always watch this on the rewatch. So get your rewind on. So
and when you're watching it on the rewatch, hit that like button still.
Right,
you know
right.
It means you're not watching live. Don't mean you can't hit that like button.
Exactly.
You know
it's here, man. It's here. It's on YouTube. Check it out.
That's what's up.
So it looks like just little housekeeping notes. Worldwide West will be representing the Knicks at the draft lottery tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Guys, I know it's funny. I was chatting with some Knicks fans on Reddit, and then the consensus was people was like, I don't want to see that lottery. Every time I see the lottery, it's bad news. I get it. I understand. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen. Tomorrow night could be the night we get the luck. You got Worldwide West representing us. And then you got Brock Aller will be back in the secret room watching them do the thing with the ping pong balls and all that. So I think we're well represented. We just need some good luck and maybe a little of that Patrick Ewing luck, a little something. So it's a chance.
I see a lot of people saying, man, like this will be the year that the Knicks somehow jump up to 1 because there's no big money market number 1 guy that's locked in, right? And then on top of it, like the way that we played all season long versus like Brooklyn and you know what I'm saying, like New York, a lot of that's what you hear from like Knicks Twitter. At least I could give that perspective. But yeah, man, for me it's just it is what it is, right? I go by history and trends and shit, and nothing ever works for us. I feel like we always get stuck and. Man, I remember watching it when we got the number, when we got the 3 pick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, of course, we landed on 3. Listen, which I'm super happy with because I rock with RJ all day long. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I would love to kind of sneak in the top there, and I'm gonna knock on wood right now because I'm superstitious.
Hey, man, I hear you, bro. Listen, either way, no matter what happens, whether the Knicks move into the top 4. Or they stay at 11, which is projected, maybe 11 or 12. But, either way, I just hope they make a smart decision. Whether they decide to keep the pick the best possible player that works for the team, or trade the pick as a value asset to get another player that you're trying to covet. Or how about you add a little something to the pick and move up if you want somebody who's maybe at 8 or 7 or something like that you might be able to swing. Whatever it is. And I see Worldwide L said it. I'm not watching it.
Bro, if we combine an asset and move up, the tankers of Knicks, the Knicks community, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Facebook, people are gonna go wild, man. They're gonna be like, "I told you we should have lost more games. Now we have to spend an asset just to move up in the draft." So it's like. Do we really, you know what I mean? It's that to me, it's really all perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't big on tanking. Like, I understand it'll help improve the odds of possibly getting a better pick. And I say it like that because that's exactly what it is. That's all it is. It improves the percentages of possibly getting a better pick. Like, literally, we still don't even know right now what's going to happen, right? Obviously, the percentages would be a little bit better, but we're still not guaranteed. Right. So I kind of look at it as more so like I still want my guys to get out there and fight and play a game. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I'm competitive, so I'm not playing a game and nonchalantly playing a game unless I'm up by freaking 50 points like you see, you know what I'm saying, the Mavericks did obviously the other night, because then it's a little different. But other than that, man, and for that same token, you're up 50 points. That other team better not be quitting either. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want to instill in young players. And I feel like a guy like IQ, a guy like Obi, guys like Grimes, guys like Deuce, I feel like they feed off of that. And so you have to shove it down their throats a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my perspective on why. Like, I was more in for just playing hard and letting the rest of the season play out. I didn't care about losing every game. And listen, it worked anyway. We didn't win many games, towards the end of the season. So did we tank on purpose? Did we tank, accidentally? Whatever. I wanted to see my guys work hard and give it their all the rest of the way, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give them an opportunity to see what you got in real life scenarios versus just practice. Right? Like, AI practice. What are we talking about practice?
Yeah, exactly. And I get it. And, but this year I didn't think about any of that, because I was like, you know what? Forget it. It doesn't matter anyway. It is what it is. I can't be mad about it. It's just going to be what it is. Because years ago when we were the year we got Porzingis in the draft, prior to that, we did the same thing. We stunk, right? And then the last 5 or 6 games, we had a winning record. Like, we won 4 of those last 6 or something like that. And it changed our draft odds, right? It happened then. Then it happened again in the RJ Barrett year. When we had a chance, we were one of the worst teams in the league. We won games at the end of the season, and then it dropped our ping pong balls, and we wound up with the 3rd pick when we could have had the 1st pick. So always a better possibility. So I'm not even, I can't even think about it anymore. It is what it is.
I know. It'll drive you crazy if you literally start, picking each theory out of it, So it's not even worth unraveling the yarn ball.
Right.
But I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Are you doing anything big tomorrow night? Like, you going to a draft party, or are you doing anything at all online?
No, I'm actually not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit back home. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to watch the lottery and chill. I'll probably tune into NBK, because I know Sim is going to go on at 7:30 and do a little something. He's going to cover it live so they can see it. I decided not to, because we have a draft special that we're doing. We already did part 1 of it on Sunday, and we decided to do it that way rather than, get on, because there should be a lot of competition tomorrow night. People, doing things for I'd rather support them, rather than be another time slot with them. So I'm just going to support. And then, what I will be a part of is I'm going to go to Atlantic City for the NBK draft party on June 23rd. So that'll be pretty fun. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. So, guys, once again, it's time for the shameless plug. If you haven't already, go to NBK. Sign up for the NBA draft party that they're going to be throwing at the Flagship Hotel in Atlantic City on June 23rd. If you're interested, you want to get to meet some cool people, Sim will be there. The rest of the NBK crew, for the most part, will be there. I'll be in the building. And who knows? Well, who else might be there? I mean, I saw some really fun people last year, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen. And this year, there's more involved. You got the night of, watching the draft live. You got the buffet, all that fun stuff, chopping it up with people. The next day, if you're still in town, you know what I mean? There's going to be a brunch. They're going to record a live, NBK intro video. There might even be a basketball game of some sort. So there'll be a couple things, happening. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested. So I also wanted to shout out my boy Andre Jackson in the chat. I see you. Thank you for tuning in. And Worldwide L, I see you in the chat. As appreciate you. This is for John. Okay, and I shouldn't really do this for you, John, because you ain't here. But salute to John and his New York Yankees. They're playing tonight. They are up 4-1, I believe. And also, this is for everybody. Big shout out to our New York Rangers for doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? They was down. They came back in the series, took game 7, and they're moving on. This is a young squad, man. This is what I like to see, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Do you follow the Rangers somewhat closely at all?
I don't personally. I'm trying to get back into it. There was years and years ago when I was younger that I used to be into hockey. I used to follow, but I'm talking way back. We're talking the Messier days,
Okay,
So,
yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah. It's been a minute, so I haven't really, but I know it's exciting, and hockey really is. A lot of people say hockey is the best sport to watch because of the nonstop action. So I'm gonna get back into it.
Hockey's cool, man. I grew up a hockey head, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I grew into basketball more. So I was kind of like born into hockey and kind of had to get into basketball. But the reason I asked you, man, is because you knew that the Rangers squad was a young team. So that was like, oh, okay, maybe, But yeah, man, they are, dude. They they kind of are in almost a similar position that the Knicks are, because about 2 years ago, I want to say about 2 years ago, they kind of cleared house, you know what I'm saying, and restarted. And I feel like they've been on such a good path since then. And we had similar seasons last year. I don't think that the Rangers made it, but they were just there. And then obviously the Knicks last year made the playoffs. So we were, in terms of progression and rebuild, we're in similar positions. In terms of succession from those rebuilds, obviously I feel like the Rangers built a little bit more, but it's consistency, you know. So shout out to those guys, man. That's definitely cool. They came back from being down 3-1 in the series, you know, and forced the game 7 and then won it in overtime. So definitely was crazy. In my opinion, and I'm a Ranger fan, I didn't think that they were getting out of that series, man. And there was points in the game last night.
That's
where
what I keep hearing.
So the fact that they won, shouts to them, man. They definitely pulled it out. I saw IQ was in the building, and I'm sure that you saw Donovan Mitchell's been hanging around teams also. So a lot of rumors been heating up about him, man. And you know, and I've been seeing, I think I saw something actually from Scoop B, I want to say a couple hours ago, saying that his sources were saying that they're hearing more Donovan Mitchell New York talk, you know. So I don't know if that's being spoken to fruition or if just, you know, more things being talked about because it's off season, you know. But that's what I'm seeing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we at least make a run at it. You know, I just think that Utah's going to definitely hold on. A big angle, man, is that they're hosting the All-Star game next year. You know, so as a franchise,
we talked about that last week. It's crazy.
Leave. So it's tough, man. But that's what we're seeing. So yeah, man, I thought that was cool. Just seeing IQ. IQ's been doing the rounds, man. Because I think it was early last week or the week prior. He was at the Yankees game and at the Mets game. So he's making his tour. But that's one thing I love about the Rangers and the Knicks. You know, is like they're so interwoven. Like I saw even earlier in the season, Mitch Robb went to a Rangers game and they hooked him up with a Rangers jersey. So I like that, you know, that kind of companionship between the two. So that's what's up.
Well, you know what? Let me give you my opinion about what's going on right now with Donovan. First, let me say once again, salute to you guys in the chat. I see Almighty Finesse. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. I see Dripmore's in the building. What's good, Dripmore? Thank you for tuning in. And Quality Jumper's here. What's going on, Quality Jumper? Once again, you know, I see, you know, we don't have, this is not StreamYard, so the name is not up. I want to continue to make sure everybody knows that we got Danny B here from The Morning Drive on Twitter, you know, so definitely check him out if you haven't already, if you're not familiar. Danny B is a real cool guy, very informative, gives you quick recaps about Knicks games when they happen the next morning, you know. So, you know, definitely salute to him once again and check out his content. It's fire. I love watching it. So, and it doesn't take much time either. So you definitely can make time for it. So all that being said,
you know that, man. No problem. Is he putting you on the spot? You think we're going to get top picked? That's crazy. Imagine if we really did.
Hey, man, listen, you know, hey.
Jaden Ivey, man. I gotta talk about Jaden Ivey.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Almighty Finesse, I'm going to say I think the chance that we get in that top 4, I think it could happen. I don't know if we'll get, you know, top pick, but I think I don't know. I have a weird feeling about tomorrow night. Like we might make that top 4. I don't know what it is. We got like a 9% chance, but for whatever reason, I just feel good about it or something. I don't know. What do you think, bro? You think they got some good mojo maybe for tomorrow?
I was just typing in the chat, bro. From Ron's lips to God's ears, bro. You know, now, like I was saying earlier, man, you know, it's hard, man, because I'm a big analytic and trend guy, and the way that I go by things, I'm gonna say no. I want to say yes, and that we get somewhere in the top 4, because if we can grab 3-4, get Ivy, I like the combo with him and the other guys that we got, but man, I got this nagging voice in the back of my head that's saying the Knicks are 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we're going to fall in that stupid freaking spot that we always fall in, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's just – well,
here's the funky thing, Danny. I don't know if you know this. This is – and you guys in the chat, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But what I've been told, somehow this is weird. The Knicks can either get into the top 4, a slim chance, or it's 11 or worse. Apparently, they can't get in between, and that's
Okay.
wild. I don't know why that is, but apparently that's the case.
Well, for me, in that scenario, if that is what it is, right, then you're looking at either waiting to see what the actual draft. I mean, no matter what, you're gonna wait and see, right? Like nobody's gonna trade picks right now. You're gonna wait and see what falls out and who's got what. Almighty Finesse, I think a lot of people want Randle out of here, bro. Just and listen, it's not even a knock on the guy himself. It's really just a knock on his integration with the rest of the team. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tibbs said in the beginning of the season that we were going to play a lot different style of ball than we did the season prior. And he said that at a press. So if he said that at a presser, you know he's been saying that around the team. And the way that I saw Randle play this season was like he was trying to force the same type of style of play from last year on this team. And I feel like the rest of the guys were in a different motion. They were looking to run and shoot threes. And Tibbs said that. We're going to shoot a ton more threes than we did last season. And they did. You know what I mean? That's a big reason why Evan Fournier broke the Knicks all-time three-point record. You know, so if you go back to the beginning of it and you start trying to piece together, everything that you heard beforehand, what you heard when it was going on, the way that the Knicks actually played it out, it's like you could kind of start seeing little things. And so overall, from my perspective, that's how I look at it, man. It's like you didn't buy into the new scheme. And was it because it wasn't all centered around you? Was it because you weren't confident in your abilities to contribute to the overall style of play? Like, I don't know what it is, man, but clearly it didn't click. So for me, I didn't spend the money. I understand the management spent the money to hook him up, you know what I'm saying, and pay him for the season. But for me, I wouldn't have wanted that to go down. I would have rather let him play for it, reward him with what he does, and then go from there. But what it does is it creates bad optics. And New York City and the Knicks themselves specifically are big on optics and bad optics. So I feel like it's going to be tough for them to cut the rope with Randle right now because they just did that. And the way that they'd get murdered in the media for doing that. So although, yes, all of us want to see that happen, I don't know how likely it's going to happen, But going back to what we were just talking about, man, like that's really going to show you exactly the cards that the front office is going to want to play, because they're either going to, exactly like what you just said, attach an asset to a pick to trade up, or if we did fall into that top 4, then they don't need to and they're going to use it, right? So I feel like inevitably it's almost what they're going to do. Like, Brock Aller is going to be back there and he's going to be saying, well, we could look at this, we could do this. They're going to have so many different options, and I feel like they're going to maneuver to make the most out of what they got, right? And I just think that's what's going to happen. So, man, I would love for the Knicks to get that top 4, man, but I just don't see it, just because it's the way that the cookies always crumbled. You know what I'm saying? So Hopefully it crumbles different this time, man.
I hear you. I mean, listen, if they get into that top 4, that's definitely a trade asset they can use to get a Donovan or somebody like that. I think then your chances get a lot higher. But if the trade don't work out, then you guess what you're left with? A top 4 pick. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Very true.
To answer my thought, what I was talking about before with Donovan and all the smoke that's being laid out there right now, listen. I've had so much going on. This is why certain players in the NBA I don't like, because of this time. The offseason has soured me on certain guys, how they may have acted, what they've said. Like, I didn't hate LeBron back in the day. What turned me off to LeBron was when he decided to use New York as his backyard to decide he's going to go to South Beach and giving us all the impression like the Knicks had a shot. So that was the first time I saw a player do that, and I didn't like it. And then I stopped liking LeBron after that. Then we see everything that happened with Kyrie and Durant when, and someone put it on Twitter today. They said, be very careful with all this Donovan Mitchell talk and, the speculation and how he looks like a good fit and things are heating up. We've been here before. And he put up the post of the stuff that was out there with regards to Kyrie and Durant. It was like, Chris Bouchard said it was like a, 95% chance it was happening or something like that. One of those guys said that. Stephen A. Smith said he heard that this is 90% chance. Someone else said it was a done deal. Like, it was horrible, bro. So
well, shoot, I can't stand it, man. Every now and then I see that picture of Kyrie, KD, and Zion, and I'm like, just it brings all that, bro. I remember in 2K that year, my build was a Zion, as close to Zion as I could. You know what I'm saying, for my player, and when I play 2K, I always get to the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So that it was in my head already. Like that's the avenue I was thinking that we could go to, because it was being shoved down our throats so much. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the top 3 anyway in that draft for me was whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, we just needed a piece of talent, and all 3 of those guys were going to be a piece of talent. Of course, we haven't seen Zion really consistent yet, but obviously Ja Morant's doing some great things right now. I feel like RJ Barrett is also, he's got more of a grindy path right now, a grindy avenue to recognition, you know, and part of it's because he's in New York, you know. I mean, look at Tyler Hero, right, who just got 6th man of the year in Miami, because Miami's a contender. You know what I'm saying? So if the Knicks had made it to the playoffs right this year, and say we did get that 4th seed, you know, is all of a sudden now RJ Barrett in that running, you know, and not just as 6th man of the year, but more like, you know, most improved or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it'll come as long as this team continues the consistency, you know. So, you know, it kind of stinks that we didn't take a couple steps forward, but I feel like we at least raised our foot to take the next step. So I feel like we just got to, you know, hopefully put that foot down on some solid ground.
No, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. So, you know, there's been, you know, every other day there's some weird trade rumors out there. People have talked about the ESPN trade rumor. I wanted to get your opinion on that real quick. You know, ESPN had put up a mock trade proposal involving the Bulls, the Knicks, and the Lakers. I don't know if you saw that one.
What was it? Say it again.
It was the Bulls, the Knicks, and the Lakers. So it was Zach LaVine. Yeah. So you saw that one. What did you think about that?
I mean, right off the bat, nobody likes.
Well, let me say it for those who may not know in the chat. It was Zach LaVine going to the Lakers. It was Julius Randle, and I believe it was Kemba Walker, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
no, I think they had Burks in it.
Burks.
I think it was Burks.
Yeah, Burks and Julius going to.
And I think Burks went to the Lakers, I believe. Well, I'm gonna pull it up right here. Hang on one sec.
Okay.
I definitely,
because
it was a complicated three-team trade.
Yeah, I tried to pull it up earlier, but I couldn't find it. I was like, I seen this all week, and then I'm like, you know, where the hell did it go?
Yeah, hold on.
I definitely know the Knicks would have been getting Russell Westbrook, 2027 first-round pick and a 2028 first-round pick.
All right, so check this out. So this is what it was. It was just like you said, Westbrook and those 2 picks would be on the Knicks. Right. Fournier and Randle would go to the Bulls, and Zach LaVine would go to the Lakers. And, and I've seen a couple different iterations of this. Like I said earlier, I saw one with Burks that lands on the Lakers also. So they've definitely played with this. At first glance, right, you see Westbrook going to the Knicks, and nobody is going to like that because of the generality of where we are now as a team, right? Like we really just need to make a couple pieces, trade, you know, move a couple pieces. Obviously, still keep you know, elasticity for a superstar type, you know, player if something pops in. But I really think like we just need to keep tooling, right? I think that for the most part, as long as we keep doing that, I think that we'll keep working towards the end goal. So does doing something like this help? Yes, in the long run, because you got the picks. But in the short term, I don't think that it really helps the long term, because it's going to dismantle what you have right now that you're building towards the future. So yeah, it gives you assets down the road, but we've already had assets down the road. So do we really want to go that route right now? I don't think so. So that's where I land on that trade. Not just because it's Westbrook going to the Knicks, because after you think it out, to me, it still disrupts what our game plan is right now for the future. You know, I think if anything, that's going to piece out further. So I'm not.
I hear you. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the trade either. If they did it, would I be sick about it? No, because I could see Westbrook being an expiring contract, and all that money comes off the books. And in the 2023 year, the free agent class has some interesting names. Plus, that's going to be that big draft year. So, anything could happen. But I don't love it. I wouldn't want to do it. But if it happened, like
Now
I said, I wouldn't.
No, go ahead, man.
Okay.
Go ahead, finish it though. I didn't.
No, I'm saying if it happened, I wouldn't be, cursing the Knicks out. I just wouldn't be happy. But I could see how they could make it work somehow. I wouldn't play Westbrook though. That's me. I let him sit a la John Wall because I don't care. Yeah. But I guess you can't really do that too often.
No, that you can. That's the thing, right? This goes exactly back to what I was just saying before about optics in New York City. You can do it anywhere else but New York City, or a main focal point in the league, right? Like if the Lakers did it with somebody, it's obviously getting blown up. But you get a team like Washington do it with John Wall, and no problem. Like they'll, you know what I'm saying? And he's been passed around, and it's still kept on the shelf, So I think yes, but I don't know, man. Like you said, to me it disrupts it. I was definitely gonna say something too, and I don't remember where I was going with it. So,
well, man. While you think about it, let me hit you with another scenario. Because if people think they don't like that scenario, you ain't gonna like this one either. So, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe some people will like it. I don't know. I saw another. I love going to NBA Analysis Network, and this is no slight to them, man, because they do the work. They put these scenarios out. They're looking for content. They got a job to do. And these are scenarios that they think they can work, and they rationalize them. We as Knicks fans may not love them, and who knows? There may be some Knicks fans that actually do like it. So one of the trades that I saw earlier today on the NBA Analysis Network, shout out to you guys once again, was the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. The Indiana Pacers would get Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, and Emmanuel Quickley, and the Knicks would get Miles Turner.
Is that the article that spelled Emmanuel Quickley's name wrong? Like they spelled it in Emmanuel Quickley? Because honestly, man,
no, that's not it. That's not it. Yeah, but
that was another one I see. But like that's crazy to me. Whoever typed that up like needs to lose your job. Like that's so not even real. You know what I'm saying? That's like, man, giving a piece of paper to somebody that has nobody, you're giving them a list of the roster, pick out 3 people to make a trade for this. I mean, give me a break, man. Like that to me is just bad reporting. Whoever even put that out, But what I was gonna say before, I just remembered. I feel like the front office with the Knicks is really looking towards next year's free agency, right? And going back to the beginning of this season that's just finishing now, nobody wants to hear that, right? Like you don't want to hear that your front office is waiting 2 years for a free agency class to pop open. But in reality, that's what they're doing, like they have road maps written out for with multiple lines. Like if anybody's watched Disney Plus and the Loki series, the last one that they had, like the timeline with all the branches, that's exactly what our front office has in place for this team. And one branch is if you let Randle go, one branch is if you did this move, one branch is if you traded the farm for this guy. I'm just going to throw Dame out there because that was a big topic last year. So it's like there's all these possibilities and all these avenues. So yes, the front office can be thinking 2-3 years down the line and be making moves now, keeping that in mind. And fans like us will be looking at things like, what the hell are they doing? Like, why are we not solving this? Why are we not looking at this? And it's like they're still keeping things open down the line. And yeah, and you see things like, what Shot Powers is saying down there, man. I don't know if the screen's getting all these pop up, but all the comments in the chat I'm reading at the same time. And it's just like there's all these possibilities. And sometimes
right. Do you mean the D-Lo
we want
Randle
to happen right now? Yeah. So what I'm saying is like sometimes what we want to happen right now is what the front office is envisioning happening in the next 2 years or the next year. Or, you know what I'm saying? They're not looking at things as immediate. So sometimes you got to give them a little bit of rope, but at the same time, you could absolutely chastise them for the moves that they made because that's what being a fan is all about. So it's like a fine line kind of, a dual sword, you know what I mean? Like with an edge on both sides. That it's like it could go either way, you know. But that's what I feel like they are definitely doing, at least for the most part, man. You see all this stuff with, you know, Worldwide West being brought into the fold, and Leon Rose being, you know, an agent beforehand, and now he's running things, and you brought in all these people for reasons that we were thinking they're going to be recruiting, you know, and doing this and that, and I feel like it's happening, but it doesn't all happen right at once. So I feel like sometimes we got to open the window a little bit further and kind of just let time go. That's big part of why at the end of the season I'm not so big on like tanking. Like I still want my team to build a culture and continue a culture that will people will want to play with our team. You know, like I hate using this example, but the Nets, before they dismantled the Nets to bring in, you know, KD and Kyrie, like that team right there was building something, right? Kenny Atkinson built a team with guys like D'Lo that you got people mentioning right here, you know, and Spencer Dinwiddie and Jarrett Allen, who's playing a huge role on the Cavs right now, you know. So it's like they had that, and that to me was what the Knicks were looking to build as a whole. That to me was the end game in terms of culture, and of course, it ended up being a bad example for the way that things turned out because, you know, income, obviously these two guys who blow up everything that they had and kind of reset. But in a way, isn't that kind of what certain fans want, right? Like to set this culture and then set things up for a way for a superstar to come through. That superstar is going to come through and they're going to blow things up in a way. You know, it's not going to be such an easy gel every time, I mean, you know? So it's
you're
like
right, bro.
That double-edged sword, man.
No, I mean, it's true. It's true. Let me before we get up out of here, let me get your take on one more quick trade scenario that I saw on the NBA Draft Analysis Network. This, I guess, today was all about the Indiana Pacers, whatever. Another scenario. Yeah, another scenario was Kemba Walker and Cam Reddish, also Obi Toppin. So Kemba, Cam, and Obi for Malcolm Brogdon. What do you think about that one?
I saw that too, man. And I don't know. Again, like I said with the last one, I feel like sometimes it's just reporters putting things out there. You know what I mean? Like with Brogdon, there was a lot of talk about him right during the trade deadline, and like what are we going to do? And obviously, people weren't sure what the Pacers were going to do because obviously the way that everything unfolded there with what's his face getting shipped out. So I don't know, man. To me, we just spent a first round pick on Reddish, right? So if we let him go in a trade like that for somebody like Brogdon, like, does that make sense? Like, to me, it doesn't. Just overall, it just doesn't, right? So I just think it's rubbish, man. You know, it's just give me a good trade proposal. You know what I'm saying? Something just even somewhat smart, even if I won't like it because maybe I like my player too much or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But at least give me something with substance, you know, something with substance, you know. And nobody's thinking deep, and that's the thing with a lot of these things. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at these here too, NBA analysis, and I saw that also. It's funny that you brought that up because, like you said, man, I see it, I read it, this, and I weigh it, and then I move on. Because to me, it's just like it's not really realistic, right? When you got a guy in the back like Brock Eiler, he's gonna look at this and be like, the value just doesn't match. It just doesn't match, you know.
That's
and I understand what you're trying to do. Yeah, no, and I get that, and I totally understand what you're trying to do in terms of like getting Walker off, but I mean, are we really going to go that route just to get Walker off the books? I mean, it's really not even that much money. Like, we might as well just let him walk, buy it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? The same way that the Boston Celtics were like, we're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did it for a reason also. So it's like at some point you got to look at other options. So I don't know if even attaching that will make it worth it. To me, this whole trade right here that we're looking at, the Walker, Cam Reddish, and Toppin for Brogdon, the whole point of this package is to get rid of Walker, and it's not worth it because you're getting rid of Reddish that you already got rid of a first round pick for. So to me, it's move on.
And you know what, GM Jeff, you're right, because that's exactly what the trade looks like it was setting up to make the Pacers better and put some more young talent around Halliburton. I don't know how much it helps the Knicks. You know, we get a Brogdon who's probably one of the best point guards we've had on the team in a long time, but we may not even see the dude on the court. He may play a couple games, get hurt like he usually does, and then we're stuck. Yeah, so I don't love that trade either.
Nah, I don't either, man. And to be honest, like I feel like Duarte's got a he's got to, I feel like, gel more with that team. Like, he's somebody I can see moving on in another year or so because it's not the right type of fit that that team is looking for. And maybe it is because, I mean, I've obviously watched Duarte a little bit. I actually bumped into him and met him, I want to say, before one of the preseason games way back, man, way back, like early October. But and he was a real cool dude. I was with Chris Persianen, and he freaking talks Dominican Republicans, Dominican, I should say. So they were going back and forth. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you know what's funny? I remember I saw. I think he put it on Twitter. I saw you guys talking to him.
Yeah, mad funny, man. But yeah, I just feel like I don't know if it. Is that even a good combination, Halliburton, Duarte, and Obi, like for what they're looking to do?
I don't know, dude. That seems
man. I
funky
feel
to
like
me.
Duarte and
I don't
Obi
know.
are kind
Hey,
of
they'll be interesting.
yeah, that they would. I think Obi and Duarte overlap each other a little bit in terms of skill sets.
I think so too.
So I don't know how that would really work out. But again, like you said, I mean, you know, these trade proposals are put together to create conversation, and sometimes a lot of the motivation behind them is, you know, players' agents looking to put words out there to raise value in their own players.
Looking to create the narrative.
Correct. So you got to keep, you know, an eye out and an ear out for all of that, you know, and keep all that into consideration. But let me ask you, have you seen anything that, in terms of trade proposals, that you were really into and you read and you were like, okay, like I could see us doing this, you know, and why?
Honestly, I haven't really seen many trade scenarios that I think could work. Even the trade scenarios that I've seen for Donovan, who I would like on the Knicks, I haven't seen really good ones that I think could actually happen that Utah would go for. The only trade scenario that I did see was one of, you know, and that's all about how you value the player. I think it will work because I don't think we're going to get the big fish all the time. So we can get somebody some low-hanging fruit that is not bad at all and could at certain moments really step up, like D'Lo. I saw a trade, you know, with D'Lo that would send Julius and possibly a Burks or a Kemba to Minnesota, and I think some other player just to make the money work because D'Lo's making a little bit more money than Julius is. But I think, you know what? I think Julius has a kicker or something that would equal the money. So it was something like that. But it was Julius and either Kemba or Burks, possibly even Noel, to give them a backup over there in Minnesota for D'Lo. And I would definitely do that because, you know, D'Angelo Russell is a player who I know his motor sometimes seems like it's turned off. It's on low simmer, but he has moments where he can definitely take over a game, and I just think there's too much firepower, too much alphas in Minnesota right now, and so he definitely is the third option.
Yeah, and I felt like you saw that play out in their playoff series. I feel like he wasn't a big factor, and I feel like if he was a little bit more, I don't think Memphis would have beat them. You know,
I agree. I think Minnesota got Memphis at the right time. They definitely could have knocked them off. Now, as the series went along and then they go into the next series, Memphis got better and got back to their Memphis basketball. But Minnesota definitely had a chance to knock them off.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. And the thing with D'Lo, I like him, and I agree with exactly what you said. There's times where his motor is just not there. I think, and I've been wrong before, but I think that the pieces that we have in place in New York, I feel like could motivate him more, right? And I feel like they're gonna light a fire up into their ass. Like you walk into the Knicks gym and you see all these words, these things that are hanging there, right? Like defense, determination, you know, like that type of a theme kind of runs through their gym. And I feel like if anybody's going to get him to play and be consistent, it's going to be a Tibbs. And if he doesn't, he's going to ride the bench, you know? And I can't help but to think of Kevin Knox right now in terms, and I'm not comparing Knox and Russell, but what I'm saying is I'm comparing their motor and the ability to turn it on and off. Now, I feel like that was such a big thing with Knox, right? That was a knock on Knox, was his motor was never on all the time. And because there was, you know, times where you seen it on and you were like, oh, that's where Knicks fans got visions of who they thought Kevin Knox could be with his body. And if, you know, he was able to really, you know, take advantage of it and capitalize on it, he could have definitely been a few notches better than where he is. And who knows where, you know, I mean, I don't want to limit anybody, but That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the motor itself, and I feel like these guys here, they could turn it up, right? Look what Kenny Atkinson did with him in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? That whole team was bought in. So maybe he comes around here, he buys into these young guys, and that whole attitude, like we mentioned earlier, that mentality that guys like RJ has, Quick, Obi, Deuce, Grimes, like they're workhorses, man. They're gym rats, and they're serious about it. It's not just posting for social media. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they're legitimately known as gym rats, period. And those are the guys you want. So I feel like it's the culture. I feel like that would be welcoming to a guy like D'Lo, and I think that he could thrive in an area like what we'd be providing him. So I could see that, and I definitely would. I would take that trade definitely into consideration. I'm glad that you brought that one up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know what, guys? Let me get Danny up out of here. Danny is happily married. He's a newlywed. Young in the game. He's got a baby on the way that's coming very soon. So I need him to get back to his priorities. I thank him for being here. I'm gonna chop it up with you guys for a little bit as I roll off the names in the chat, give you guys a little love. But for the meantime, I just want to say, Danny, thank you, man, for being here. We finally got you. I appreciate it. I know John's upset. He already said it in the chat. He wishes he could have been here too. But
we'll do it again soon.
We'll do it again. That's it. But thank you, brother. Definitely. Hey, man, kiss the little belly, and that little girl that you got in there for me. Definitely shout out to your wife. Congratulations to you guys. I can't wait to see the Twitter pictures when the baby finally comes. So
you already know, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Dude. Ron, likewise, bro. I appreciate you. You already know that. John, I'm sorry I missed you, bro, but we'll definitely get up. Jose, I know you're up there somewhere. I said before we even started on the show, everybody listening, he's like the voice up in the sky. You know what I'm saying? He's just there. Like, you don't see him. He'll talk once in a while to Twitter and Instagram. On YouTube, just search Danny B Morning Drive. It'll pop right up. So I appreciate that. Everybody that's listening, thank you very much. Ron, you're the man, bro. John, Jose, till next time.
Thanks, Danny. Good to see you, man. Have a great night, brother.
You too, man. Absolutely, bro. Be good.
All right. Guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Just want to give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat who jumped on. Salute to Pudge Nice. I see you. Was good. Infamous New King in the building. Good to see you. JJ. Who else? We got Shaw Powers. White Falcons in the building. We surveyed 100 peoples in the building. CMAC _ CAA affiliate, my guy. D Coolest, what's going on, D? Ninja Dude. Who else we got here? I want to give everybody a little love. Appreciate y'all. B Willis, what's going on? D Ras. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Angel Torres, what's good, Angel? I got everybody. I think I got everybody. I'm looking. I don't want to miss anybody. Above the Rim, what's going on? I don't know if I've seen you tune into the show before, but if you have, I apologize. And if you haven't, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Let me see. Anybody else I might have missed? I already mentioned GMB Jeff. What's going on? Appreciate you. I don't think I've seen you here before, so thank you for tuning in. Shaw Powers, as always. Once again, Don P, I see you. Our communities, our children, OCOC, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Jeremy Nussbaum, what's going on? Where you been, Jeremy? I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate you guys for showing the love and support. Great news. We're trying to continue to grow the channel, the podcast, all of our brand. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're still on the road to get in there. But, we had a great draft show yesterday with my man Prophet from Feet Sports, as well as D Poetic. You guys may know him as D is Ballin'. It was a real great, fun time. So if you guys are interested in the draft, you may not know what's going on, definitely check that out. I know it's long. It's like 3.5 hours. But, once I get out of here, I'm going to be updating the listing. So the timestamps will be there. So if you want to hear about certain players and you don't want to sit through 3.5 hours, I get it. So I'm going to put those timestamps in there so you guys can select on who you want to see. And if you got a long car ride from here to wherever, you just put this puppy on and let it play. But thank you. Cully, I see you. Thank you. Appreciate you. But my point was, guys, we finally hit 700 subscribers. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for all the support, man. Thank you to the new subscribers that got us to 700. We're going to continue to keep giving you guys as much content as we can. Hopefully y'all appreciate it. Y'all enjoy it. So just stay tuned, man. Next up, we got the NBA report this Thursday on the MBK network. Then you got, Know the Ledge on Saturday, 11 a.m. And then we'll be back with another weekly show next week. Maybe another special guest to chop it up with myself and John and Jose. And then 2 weeks from yesterday. So maybe about 13 days from today will be another NBA Knick draft series that we're going to do, with myself, D Poetic, and my man Prophet from Feet Sports. So tune into that, and we'll break down like what happened in the lottery, where we pick. We'll narrow it down a little better and look at the team, see who might go where, see who really might go to the Knicks once we have a better idea, or if the Knicks might trade the pick. We'll come up with some scenarios about where the Knicks could make moves, who's looking to step up, who's looking to move down. We'll talk about whatever we think that makes sense that you guys might want to know about. So definitely tune in. That's like 2 weeks from yesterday. So, so once again, man, yeah, I know I'm saying a mouthful. I'm just trying to get out all this information as quickly as possible to get you guys, to the rest of your evenings. So once again, thank you. My man Jose on the ones and twos holding us down as always. My guy.
That was for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
For
there you go.
Thank you.
What's happening, brother?
Not much, man. You guys did an awesome stream. Shout out to Danny B. Once again, to everyone who's watching us live or watching us in the repeat. If you want to follow our guest for today, check him out at Dan_NY_B on Twitter and Instagram. And John,
yes, sir.
You suck for not being here, but it's okay. It's okay.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You and them damn Yankees. Okay, sorry. I went too far. I'm a Met fan. Don't judge me.
That's when I leave. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you, as always, brother. Appreciate you. Well, once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Cully, salute to you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Always supporting, always showing love. Guys, if anybody's tuned in late and just joining us now, definitely watch the replay, man. Danny B had some good takes on a lot of stuff. He gave you good breakdown, some information. If you guys are interested in being season ticket holders for the Knicks, buying quarter packages or anything like that, 10 games, maybe 5 games, he put some information in there that you may not be aware of that most people don't know. So definitely, watch the replay, man. This is a good one. Thank you to everybody. Thanks to Danny B once again. Salute to you guys in the chat. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knick fans. We'll be back again, man. We'll see you on the next one, guys. This has been great. I appreciate y'all. Take care. Be safe.